Good morning, everyone. So, continuing with our previous concept, the concept of light ray and waves. Now, as we learned about the refraction in our previous classes, continuing with it, the concept of refraction with respect to lenses. Here in the slide, you find where fundamentally two types of lenses, that is convex and concave. But again, based on the constructing of the diameter, radius, thickness, and so on, we can categorize them as biconcave lens, biconvex lens, and plano-convex, plano-concave, meniscus. So many varieties you can find. But fundamentally, we'll see that lenses are basically of two types. We'll move with this assumption and understanding. Terms related to these lenses, you can see here the principal axis that is passing through optical center, and C1, F1. C1 is the center of curvature, F1 is the focus one on the left hand side, and right hand side F2 as the focus on right hand side, and C2 is the center of curvature, and capital R gives us the radius of curvature, and F is the focal length. These are the terms that are related to the lenses. So this is not only applicable in convex lens, but also in the below figure, that is concave. So how these terms are how these terms came out or emerged out? What are these terms exactly? How these terms came into existence? We will see with the following diagram below. Here you see the below diagram, convex lens is in the green shade, green coloring, and C1 is on left and C2 is on right, where the dots are given as two circles here as two spheres. Because if we extend these two green lines, making as a length, we get two spheres because this lens is a part of the whole sphere. So therefore, if we extend on one side, we get one C1, and to the other surface, we get C2. Then as we get C1, we get F1. Similarly, as we get C2, we get F2. And a line which is passing through all these common points, that is called as principal axis. And the distance from optical center to F1 is focal length, and that point is called as principal focus. We can find out the same about the same concept, but in two different figures. One is the top right is explaining about convex lens, and the top and the bottom left is giving us the understanding of these terms for the concave lens. So there are some rules in order to draw the ray diagrams, because these are not just the rules, these are actually the laws that is existing with respect to the lenses. Here what happens is, when light ray is passing parallel to the principal axis, after passing through the lens, it goes through the focus because of refraction for the convex lens. But when it comes to the concave lens, and a light ray is coming parallel to the principal axis, after refraction, it diverges in such a way that it appears as if it is coming from focal point F1. So this is a rule that is applicable for both the lenses, first rule. And the second rule is exactly opposite of the first rule. That is, when light ray is passing through the focus, principal focus, F1, in terms of convex lens, it goes parallel to the principal axis because of refraction. But when it is in terms of concave lens, when light ray is appearing to pass through focus, that is F2, after refraction, it moves parallel. But in both the cases, what is the common point is, after refraction, the light ray moves parallel. Moving on to rule 3. This is a very simple and easy rule. When light ray moves through the optical center, it goes undeviated in both the cases. That is simple enough to understand. And we can get one doubt here, that is, based on the thickness, if refraction is varying, how can we take the light ray going undeviated to the center, optical center? The point that is considered is, need to be considered is, that the lens is actually very, very thin. So ideally, the thickness of the lens is considered to be thin. So therefore, we can say that when light ray is passing through the optical center, it goes undeviated. But if the lens is too thick, this concept is not perfectly applicable. But even if the refraction is there, the refraction is very, very less when it passes through the optical center, even in the case of thick lens. But ideally, the lens is thin. This is rule 4, but we can consider it as rule 3 also, because in rule 3 we find out the light ray is passing through optical center. Here also same thing, but light ray is passing through principal axis altogether. That means all the points, that is C and O, F. But even in this case, we find out that light ray is not deviating, because here also it is passing through optical center O. Then here is a explanation of the same, but we'll go on to the next one. But you can find out in this PPT when you play it yourself. So there are 6 cases that we are learning with respect to convex. In first case, object is placed at infinite distance and the image is formed at focus, and the characteristics are real, inverted, highly diminished, and formed at focus. Image is formed at focus. In second case, object is moved slightly closer, that is beyond f2, and image is formed between f and 2f on the right hand side. And the first two properties are real and inverted, that are same. In third case, the object is brought a little closer, that is at 2f, that means at center of curvature, and the image is also formed at 2f on the right hand side. So because the distances are exactly equal, that must be equal. So first two properties are real and inverted, that is same. Third property is the object size and image size is same. And fourth one is the position of the image, that is at 2f. And the application is in a terrestrial telescope. In case 4, we find out the object is coming a little more closer, that is between 2f and f, and image is formed beyond, so therefore the image is enlarged. And in fifth case, the object is at f and the image is formed at infinity. Therefore, we can find out that it is highly enlarged, and the application is in searchlight. And last application of this convex lens is an object is between f and 2f. You can see the object is a little small, but the image is enlarged. How is this possible? And this is a special case. Why do I call it a special case? Because only in this case we find out the image is virtual. In previous all the 5 cases, the image is actually real. So here exactly what happens is when light ray passes parallel to principal axis, after refraction it goes through f1, and another light ray which is passing through the optical center, it goes undeviated, and these two light rays deviate in such a way that there is no possibility to meet. So what we do is we extend this refracted rays behind, and we get the point of intersection of refracted rays, and therefore the image is enlarged. And other thing is it is erect image. It is upright. It's not inverted. This is also the special property. In all these previous cases, the first 2 points are common, that is real and inverted. But here we see that it is virtual and erect. Our application is main magnifying. We use the magnifying glass. This is application of it. You can see here at the bottom right, where the flower is being magnified because the lens is placed too close to the object. And this is an extension of the case 1, and the application we find out in the projectors. Here the light rays are coming parallel to each other on the right side. On the left side you can see the light rays are parallel to each other and parallel to principal axis. Therefore after refraction they converge at point f2, but on the right side we can see that the light rays are parallel to each other, but they are not parallel to the principal axis. So after passing through the lens, they converge and image is formed at f2, but not exactly on principal axis, below the principal axis, but at the point f2 only. So what do you call that downward position? We call that as focal plane. So here the image is formed in the focal plane of f2, below the principal axis. This is how the projectors function. So in previous classes, the student asked, the image is inverted, then what is the solution? we don't see that in the projector. When the projector is turned on, the image is upright only. The answer to this is that there is other lens as well which is used, which can invert the image again. So not only one, there are two lenses being used. But his doubt was that can't we invert the projector itself? Why to have one more lens? But the point is that even if we invert the lens, the image will not get inverted because the lens is in a spherical form. It's in a circular form. So even if you invert it in any ups and down direction, still lens acts as lens only. It doesn't invert the image. So better to use two lenses. Concave. In this case, we have only two cases with respect to the concave, because case 2 covers all the rest of the cases of convex. So in case 1, similar to convex lenses, the object is placed at infinity and the image is formed at f1, but it is on the same side of the object, not on the other side, not on the right side. It's on the left side. So because this is happening because when the rays are moving parallel to principal axis after refraction, the extension of refracted ray gives us the point of intersection of two refracted rays, that is at f1. And the image is here virtual, erect, and highly diminished and formed at focus. And in second case, the object can be placed anywhere, but the result will be same anywhere in the sense between infinity and O. And here we can see first rule is followed where light ray after refraction goes deviated, and second ray that is passing through optical center, and therefore the image is formed between F and O. So this image is diminished, and the characteristics are virtual, erect, diminished, and formed between F and O. So when the object is placed anywhere between F and infinity, the same result is obtained. In overview, here are the 5 cases. It's much easier to understand here like that, how object is approaching through lens and the image is formed beyond the lens. Then come to the point of application of the lenses. How a convex lens moves near object farther, because object is closer here, so this object has to be moved farther in order to see it properly. But that is the problem with the hypermetropia. So near objects cannot be seen here. This is the 6th case that we learned so far, where the object is between F and O, it has to be pushed away. The image will be pushed away. That means the point is near objects cannot be seen in this case. That is the problem with the high hypermetropia. So when the objects closer cannot be seen, we can use this convex lens in order to solve this problem, because convex lens, when it is placed too close to the object, what it does is it pushes the image, or it moves the image further, and it gives an enlarged virtual image. This is how we can find out convex lens giving out the solution for the problem of hypermetropia. And here, when the object is far away, it has to be brought closer. So the solution for this is concave lens, because in both the cases of concave lens, we are finding that the image is brought closer and it is erect. So this gives us the solution for this. These are the different slides explaining the same. So we'll end up with this class. I'll forward the worksheet. You can work on it. And thank you.